and thirsty. Cheerwine is a one-of-a-kind soft drink with a unique cherry taste that has been delighting Southerners for more than a century. Pick up Cheerwine at your local Jam Mart, Harps, and other fine establishments. Cheerwine, uniquely Southern since 1917.
Arkansas is our place. It's our place to keep it beautiful. So get your hands dirty and do your part during the Great Arkansas Cleanup, happening now through October 31st. Find events all around the state, or even better, host your own event and recruit your friends. Let's team up and get this done. Learn more and sign up today at keeparkansasbeautiful.com. A message brought to you by the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission, this station, and the Arkansas Broadcasters Association.
Hi, this is Lindsay White, and I'm proud to share that White Office Machines has now officially become part of the Datamax family. You'll continue to see the same local support teams you know and trust, plus industry-leading Kyocera copiers with statewide service and expanded IT, phone, and document solutions. Together, we're stronger, and together we're ready to create a raving fan out of your business. I know my dad and our staff are excited about this new chapter, as it takes our capabilities to a whole new level for you. Learn more at datamaxarkansas.com.
Contractors, you've got jobs to win and customers to impress. That's why you choose Luxair HVAC systems, built for performance, efficiency, and reliability. And at J&B Supply, we've had your back since 1968. We're a local family-owned distributor that treats our customers like family too, with the products, expertise, and service you need to get the job done right. For over 50 years, HVAC and plumbing pros have trusted J&B Supply in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville. J&B Supply, where the professionals go.
This is Zachary Hall, the Arkansas Storm Tracker. The Jam Mart team is excited to announce their Customer Appreciation Day on Thursday, October 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be specials all day long, including a big 99-cent menu with Crispitos, corn dogs, chicken tenders, and more. Be sure to wait to fill up your gas tanks that week. The discounted prices will be worth it. Plus, they're drawing for a gas card. You can sign up for your chance to win all week in-store. 99-cent sausage biscuits will be available at the Jam Mart Phoenix Avenue location Monday through Friday. Don't miss out on Customer Appreciation Day at Jam Mart on Phoenix Avenue, Thursday, October 23rd.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny sky. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 70s to low 80s. Slight chance of a few showers or late-day thunderstorms across the south. Now tonight, partly to mostly cloudy. Overnight low will drop down mid-50s north, low 60s south, and sunshine mid to upper 70s on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grant Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith.
At some point, you got to step in the ring. We'll lift the rope. You got to come in here.
ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Lights Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
What name of one Razorback? Is vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man.
Let's go.
Caller text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Man, I feel like I've already got today. Matt Jones and Christian Johnston. Welcome into halftime, 11:01 on a Tuesday morning. This is ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. And Matt, I was on the phone with Matt Jones earlier this morning. Before I even get into it, Matt Jones, it's a beautiful Tuesday. The sun is shining outside. It's a game week. How are you today, my friend?
Life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, you sounded good on the phone today when we were kicking around a couple of things to talk about on the show. One of them was the looming second decision that LeBron James had teased the night before. And, man, I thought that would kind of drive a little bit of the conversation, along with, of course, Arkansas football and the Bobby Petrino press conference.
Was it a psych out?
Monday Night Football yesterday. Matt,
Psych.
it wasn't even a psych out. I mean, it definitely had some psychological qualities to it, because LeBron knows if he's going to tease a second decision, and we remember what happened the first time around, and even if it was cheesy or you didn't really like him very much, everybody was at least interested in what he was deciding to do. Matt, this turned out to be a Hennessy ad. Literally just a Hennessy ad and nothing else. No decision other than I watched the first 10 seconds of the thing just before the show started. I don't even want to watch the next 50 seconds because it's a Hennessy ad. And I don't need the ad.
Any good.
I know. What do we? Wow.
Hennessy.
I got today already, Matt.
That was kind of on me, I guess, but I got too. I didn't. I saw. I guess the same thing you saw was like second decision coming, and I thought vanity. You know, I thought you're so vain, Carly Simon. It was going on like, hey, who doesn't want their end of the world tour? That's what I thought he was going to have, and I guess he just wants to drink.
Yeah, I picture the exact same thing that Kareem got, with a rocking chair given away whenever he visits Boston for the last time, and just all sorts of different trinkets and gifts for LeBron. But no, instead it's a Hennessy ad. So you know what? I don't want to get got for the rest of the day. Yeah, just need nothing but truth for the rest of the day. How about that? You think we can get that for 3 hours?
Obey your thirst.
Well, I'm not going to obey my thirst if it says Hennessy right now. That's for sure. I'm not going to work at 11 o'clock in the morning. Not for me. If you got the time and you got the ability right now, hey, have at it.
No, I got things to do.
Yeah, we got things to do. We got sports to talk about. That's right. I don't even think I've ever. Yeah, and B, that's exactly what I thought about. How many of you out there, and it's going to be about 2.5 months before we get the chance to watch on loop for 24 hours a day for at least 2 days, right? When TBS or TNT does this, A Christmas Story. That's exactly what I thought, BE, is that it was going to be this amazing moment that would stand in time, that we would always remember. And just like Little Orphan Annie's radio show, it turned out to be a crummy Ovaltine ad, for crying out loud. Does it get any worse than that? No, because over the next 3 hours, we're talking Arkansas football. We're talking. Well, I'm just going to erase that. Does that make you feel better, Matt? Is that going to be more fun?
I might rather talk about Hennessy, and Hennessy's gross. Yeah.
Maybe by the end of the game on Saturday, you'll make a decision as to whether or not
watch
you'll
this
just
Razorback game.
Pour yourself a cup, a full cup, or just half glass, or just a little shot. I don't know if you're on post game on Arkansas.
I am.
Hog Reaction
it's me
Saturday.
in the unit.
All right. Yeah. Maybe the two of you can have a little cheers by the end of it, because it's time to keep a winning streak going. Right. Arkansas is on a 4-game winning streak against Tennessee, and that matters a lot right now. That matters a lot with a team that's making this coaching change. And hearing from Bobby Petrino yesterday, I mean, there's obviously a much different sound from Coach Pittman, and but you can also hear just at least explaining, I think, a little bit of what it is that he would like to see as the head coach, and specifically on improvements. And man, I mean, when I'm hearing some of the improvements that he's talking about, I'm hearing things that sound just like very, fundamental things. And a lot of it has to do with effort specifically.
I want us to do the process right, do the things that you need to do to win games. And that's our, in our preparation and how we practice, how we go about our daily business, how the players are in the building, in the weight room. And then that gives you the opportunity to win. If as long as you're doing the things that lead up, the end result is with a W. So we're gonna work hard on preparing and doing things right, and then getting out on the field and compete. I want everybody out there competing hard and giving us their best effort. The one thing about being here at Arkansas, it's always been about being tough and physical and hard-nosed, and we got to get to that.
It's all about, I guess at this point, you wouldn't expect to hear that kind of, this is what I want to see from my team after 5 games. But when you're bringing in, and it's not a new coach, but it's a new message, essentially, for the entire team, that this, Matt, sounds like what you would hear from your head coach at the first press conference in August, just when camp starts. So, it's not the usual things you'd hear after 5 games.
Well, it's a new messenger. I don't know how much. I mean, the message has to be about the same for every single football team. And I think he's right when it's get back to basics, hard nosed, tough, physical, play to the end of the whistle. Don't know how, somebody else is conveying the message, but surely Coach Pittman was saying those same things, which, I don't listen to all that stuff that you have to listen to, so I don't know, but surely he was saying some of the same things.
Well, and so I wonder when you get a little bit more into, and again, this is fundamental stuff that I think is specifically about playing defense that you would think is being taught properly, but when you're hearing Bobby Petrino talk about this, you wonder if this was not a matter of being taught, but being drilled in as important, top of the list kind of stuff. But again, fundamentals should be instinctual.
And then we've tried to just put it behind us and let's say, hey, tear off the rearview mirror. Let's look forward. And this is what we need to do. Not so much of what we haven't been doing, but what we need to do. And, we need to do a better job of getting aligned quickly, getting our eyes where they belong, and everybody getting in a good stance. I'm a big guy of stance. I think that football is, starting point is that I'm in a proper stance and my eyes are right. So we've been drilling that and working hard on it, and they've improved on it. And then when you mention the effort, it's running full speed to the ball, not running to the ball, running full speed to the ball. And we get all 11 guys doing that, then good things happen. You get more hits, you get more turnovers. It's just good things happen when everyone sprints to the football.
To me, the idea that here's what we have to do to win football games also goes along with the thought that this is not what we were doing, at least over the last 3 weeks. And hearing those things again, Matt, these sound like simple fundamentals of football that might have just been, forgotten by a team that looked unfocused at times.
Well, I think that was part of the deal, right? They got all these veteran players, and you think that some of them come in coached or some of them come in with the understanding of what the assignment's going to be, and sometimes it's not. You got to start at level 0, and work your way up, even if it is a fifth-year senior. Some of my best coaches, it's, hey, you take care of the little things and the big things that happen, and I think that's what he's talking about. Proper stance, where's your eyes? Are you looking at the right thing? Take care of the little things, and then you make big things happen. Your eye can't be on the big thing. It's got to be on the little things, doing the things proper, doing the things right, and then all of a sudden success can start happening.
It's like the idea, well, I've got to make a play. I've got to go make a play. Well, how do you go make a play? It starts with those simple things in the very start of the play.
Win your matchup. Win your matchup, and let's see if that makes a play. Exactly. Win your individual matchup, and then let's see if you can make big things happen. But it starts by all 11 guys on one play winning. And sometimes the thing about offense is you could have 10 guys win their play, but one guy misses an assignment and it's a bad play, and it can vice versa. It can happen that way on defense. But then you just got to keep doing it again. And that's part of the adversity when it happens. Don't hang your head, but hey, what can I do to get better and get back out there and do it better?
And all of this sounds really nice. The second Tuesday after the change at the top of the football program was made, and all of these comments from Coach Petrino just sound, the message is different, and they're going to be snapping to attention, and there's a little bit more fire and more intensity and more focus and more care, and that's going to take care of things. I'd like to believe that too. I really would. I'd like to believe that turns the team into something of what we saw in Oxford. A team that when I watched that game, even the way that they lost, I thought, you remember, Matt, I said it after that game, this team will be in every game they play. And then what happened? They weren't in every game that they played, because that loss, I think, led to the second loss, which led to the way the third loss went down.
Look at Penn State. They just had a double overtime game with Oregon, then had to travel 2 time zones to play a team in LA who hasn't won a game, and they couldn't produce that. That's what you're talking about. Don't let last week's loss carry over through the next week and one loss multiply to 2. You got to be a goldfish to be your boy Fisherman Clay Henry's Ted Lasso. Once it happens, let's get over it, learn from it, but then let's try to get better.
Speaking of Fisherman Clay, we'll have the one and only Hall of Famer, Fisherman Clay Henry, with us for a couple of hours starting at 12 noon. And what else do we have on halftime? Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, 1:15. Alyssa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, coming up at the bottom of this hour. Plus, calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline at 877-377-6963. More sound from Bobby Petrino and take 3 or take 4 of the NIL era at Arkansas Athletics. Get into that in just a moment. This is halftime.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner. Man, this takes me back to the 2000s.
All your Y2K favorites are back for only $3 or less. Only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to MyBookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. You yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Neil Young is getting old, searching for a heart of gold. His only number one song is the number one thing most people get wrong. We tend to think we're as good as gold, but in Jeremiah 17:9 it's told, the human heart is desperately wicked right from the start. The Holy Spirit will rip you apart, but then give you a new heart. Mine for the treasure of Jesus written in the scrolls. Otherwise, you're chasing fool's gold. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So in the team meeting, I addressed it. I apologized to Omari, apologized to the team. And I just told him I kind of let the moment of what happened get the better of me there.
Matt, did you ever get an apology from a coach in a team-wide
Not
meeting?
one single time. Everything I did wrong had cause. That's for sure.
Did you ever just take somebody else's mistake and say that was my mistake too?
Well, so there was one time, Phil, in professional in Jacksonville, where a coach touched another player in practice, and it didn't. That's you don't ever. Players don't touch coaches. Coaches don't touch players at that level. There's just kind of a mutual respect. But somebody wasn't doing a drill right. One of the offensive line coach wasn't having it. Kind of bumped the offensive lineman and all. It was no sir, no sir.
So that's what happened in this interaction with DeMarcado and Gannon on the sideline.
He touched him. Yeah,
he didn't just touch him. I mean, I saw the word punch thrown.
It was a love tap. There wasn't anything malicious in it. We're seeing that there wasn't anything, but you still don't do it. You still don't touch the players. Don't touch the coach. The coach doesn't. There's just kind of an understanding.
You sure that was a love tap, or was that like a love shove?
Hey, if you're gonna break the ball 72 yards and run 71 and fumble it, I might have a love tap for you too if I was the head coach. I think he was caught. Like whatever that coach did, and I think all the players have his back for that. That's a boneheaded play. That's an absolute boneheaded play.
So is it all right to get smacked on the back of the helmet for a bad play and then given the old-fashioned butt slap for a good play, but a punch in the midsection, whether you're patted or not, that's a whole different story. And, hey, don't be the Woody Hayes either. Let's not go after somebody's face with the punch. That'll be the last thing you do.
Definitely not the other team. You definitely don't get to go touch the other team.
That's
At least it's your own teammate. Yeah.
All right. JT and I going a little back and forth about Arkansas Edge right now, which is shut down, by the way. If you go to the Arkansas Edge website, the words as we close this chapter, we're excited for the next era of NIL at Arkansas, led by Razorback Athletics, Go Hogs, will greet you. And so I don't remember if this is take 3 or take 4 in the NIL era at Arkansas. Now, look, Arkansas is not the only school that has struggled to find whatever works properly for name, image, and likeness. It's just this feels like a third or fourth go-around in the 3 or 4 years they've been trying to figure this out. So this, you remember we had Andrew Hutchinson on the show on Friday. Hutch from Best of Arkansas Sports did a little bit of digging. And now you couldn't find the contract from Arkansas Edge. Trey Biddy reported 15% flat, pretty much. I don't know if they got anything else on top of that, fees or percentages on top of a certain amount of revenue. My guess is if there was a percentage on a certain amount of revenue, Arkansas Edge did not reach that revenue, because if it worked, well, Arkansas wouldn't be bringing NIL in-house to this front office, which is made up of, at least right now, 3 staff members: Devontae Higginbottom, the director of NIL strategy, general manager Remy Cofield, and associate director player relations Sydney Lemmerhurt. Hopefully this will work, because this is now getting rolled out at the same time where talking about having even potential interviews. If you believe the reports from Hogbeat, I think it was Riley McFerrin that reported that it is Riley Moore who who was interviewed on a Zoom call or a video call yesterday as the offensive coordinator for Missouri. So, I mean, that's not one that I would have thrown out there as a candidate. I wouldn't think that you're going to be bringing on somebody again that's a first-time head coach, but that's the first time I've heard, Matt, of somebody actually being interviewed. And here it is, October 7th. How many more interviews can you conduct of coaches that are still gaming up plans for their opponents in the next 8 weeks?
You know how I like Colin Klein, the OC at A&M. I know I brought his name up a handful of times. A winner at Kansas State, quarterback. You think of Rhett Lashley, you think of Dow Loggins, you think of Kellen Moore. You know, all these quarterbacks that are in the league, that are in institutions doing their thing. I like how Colin Klein sees Josh Heupel, another quarterback. You know, it's like you see how these quarterbacks go. But I Colin Klein, I mean, if you can win at Missouri, and you think of Missouri's offense the last 2 or 3, 4 years, it's been run heavy. I don't know how long this guy's been there, but they've been physical. They move the ball in multiple ways. They had a receiver that was an absolute stud a couple years ago. They're finding ways to get him the ball. They're evaluating of talent, being able to go get that Penn State backup quarterback, being able to go get another running back to be the best running back in the league again. I mean, you like how they're evaluating talent as well.
And he worked with Brady Cook the last couple of years too at Missouri, Matt.
Brady Cook, you saw him get better each year.
Yeah, and I found here's Bobby Petrino on, and maybe this is a little bit, well, I wouldn't say it's a switch in the practice for the offense, because Bobby's been running those practices, but maybe a little bit of a different focus defensively when it comes to the two sides of the team working together in a practice. And Matt, I want to get your reaction on hearing Bobby Petrino on practicing for the quarterback specifically.
Accurate statement. I always see the practice through the quarterback's eyes, and how do we get our quarterback to outplay their quarterback. I think that's the starting point of how you win a game. Is our quarterback outplays their quarterback, we got a great chance to win the game. So we try to always set practice up that, the progression of practice is as the quarterback goes.
And I think you're going up against a team that's led by a former quarterback in Josh Heupel. And I would think, Matt, that somebody that comes from that perspective, not just as a former quarterback, but specifically a quarterback's coach, like Petrino is, that's going to be the perspective you get when you're the head coach too. And the practices might have a little bit of a different tilt.
Yeah, that's good. I'm not saying that's not a good thing, but let's just say there's 112 things wrong with the team. It's not like there was just one thing and we got to get the quarterback to play better. There was a lot that was about bad football with this team. So yeah, there's a lot to work on. But yeah, let's get the quarterback going. Let's get him doing right. But let's also get no turnovers. When's the last time we played a clean game on offense? I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of fumbles we have, the amount of turnovers let's get. You want to win one-score games? Well, win the turnover battle. Be efficient on third down. So there's a lot wrong with this football team, and I don't think the quarterback's the problem. To be honest with you, I think there's a lot more things wrong. But yeah, let's get the quarterback going right, and let's improve in a lot of areas.
Green in the 3-game losing streak, 57 for 101 passing, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So hopefully that'll improve well, along with, what was the number? And you take lists.
10 points in the last 6 quarters.
You're a note taker, Matt. Was it 133 different things?
Oh, that was the unit. There's 100. There's 100. What did they say? 99 problems, but a quarterback isn't one of them. I mean, that's it. We got a really good quarterback, but we got a lot of problems on that team.
All right, we'll talk with Alyssa Orange from the Varsity Vibe podcast in just a moment. Remember, Crabtree RV Center in Alma, serving our listening audience over 3/4 of a century. And every time at Crabtree, every buyer and their family gets the best RV purchasing experience. They'll help you choose the right RV, featuring personalized financing that you'll only find at Crabtree RV and a top-of-the-line parts and service department on site. Get your plans going early here in fall with a purchase of an RV from Crabtree RV Center, I-40 and I-49 at the junction in Alma, and crabtreerv.com. Stay with Halftime. It's Alyssa Orange from the Varsity Vibe podcast joining us in just a moment.
He was heavy. He had a little bit too much adipose tissue in his stomach area.
This is Halftime.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With the never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and at Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
With the helpful hardware, folks. Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
Now through October 31st, get $10 off per gallon of select paint and exterior from Clark Kensington, Ace Royal, and Wood Royal brands at locally owned Jaegers Hardware. Jaegers, real help, real savings. Now open in Barling.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. Every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball. ESPN 95.3.
Hero. And in my dreams, I wrote the best song that I've ever written. I stayed up the way.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
Turner to second base. Tommy Edman. Low throw. Freddie Freeman with a scoop. And the ball game is over. Oh, my goodness. Tommy Edman spiked it in the...
Yeah, Alyssa Orange joining us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Alyssa, not only the host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, but she is one of our resident Dodger fans. We got a couple others call in on a regular basis. And, man, Alyssa, ninth inning, 4-1. It's a good thing the Dodgers brought their gloves, especially Freddie Freeman, huh?
Yeah, man, how about that? So that's one way to put me in a really good mood for the start of this interview. Thank you. So I've watched the end of that game a handful of times, but I've watched the wheel play that they did to get Castellanos out at third on the bunt for the second out of that inning, and how huge that was. And Freddie and them talking about how they had talked about it in the huddle during the pitching change, and they had practiced it, and they knew that this would be the perfect time to pull it out. And man, they executed it perfectly, because if Max Muncy doesn't make that throw the way that he does right there, that ball's in left field and it's a tie ball game. And then of course, if Freddie doesn't scoop that ball and keep his foot on the base, from Tommy Edman, then, that could potentially have tied the game and won it for the Phillies. So, nail biting, both of those games in Philadelphia were, but hey, we're going to LA 2-0.
Did you hear Dave Roberts' postgame about the wheel play?
Quick follow-up on the wheel play, because we're getting conflicting evidence. Max said you guys don't even practice that in spring training.
Not once.
Somebody else said you did, so Max is correct.
No, we don't practice that play. It's just kind of, we don't, and yeah, we don't.
They don't practice it because who bunts these days? It just doesn't happen very much anymore. It's all about instinct. And so one of the other things here, and I was texting with DVH about this morning, asked him if he would bunt. He said the first thing I would do is I'd pinch run for Castellanos and get him off the base and make sure you get that tying run. Yeah. These series have been great.
Well, that's crazy, because, Freddie kind of said the same thing. He was like, we knew we could also pull, no offense to Nick Castellanos, but he goes, we knew we could pull it off because it was Nick at second, not Trey Turner.
Right.
So, you're able to kind of, he was like, we wouldn't have done it if it was Trey. We would just try to get the fours.
That's exactly right. Gives you a little sense of it. All right. So you're doing okay after that wild ninth inning, 2-0 lead. Got to be feeling pretty good about this series. All right. Let's get into some high school football. I know there was a crazy finish for Rogers to stay unbeaten thanks to a blocked extra point against Fayetteville. Tell me about this game.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I was out of town for my 20th high school reunion, actually, back in Virginia. And I saw that score, and I had no idea how spicy the game ended. And so when I went back and I watched, Rogers went up. So Rogers had like a 48-21 lead, and Fayetteville able to come back, tied up at 49. So it would have been 42. So tied up at 49. And then Rogers scored, made it 56-49. And so Fayetteville was about a minute and a half, had to drive back down the field and score. And then they did. And a lot of people thought they'd go for two, and go ahead and just win the game, and kind of felt like maybe Rogers' defense was a little gassed. You could have been able to do a 2-point conversion, but they brought the field goal kicking, unit out there to kick the extra point. And so Hunter Dickey, who plays defense for, Rogers, was able to jump over the line, time it out to jump over the line, get there, and then get back up, and the ball hit him in his stomach. I was talking to him yesterday, and he was like, I kind of knew the timing-wise, but the other extra points that they had kicked, what they were trying to do. So I was able to time it out, so I jumped, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to get it, and I kind of jumped again, and I felt the ball hit me in the stomach, and then I saw it, and then I just started running, and we got the ball back, and it was exciting. There was a little bit of question there whether or not, leverage, because that is illegal, going back there and looking, but I don't know if that was seen or not. But a thriller for Rogers to stay alive. So I didn't know this either. That's the last time they won in Fayetteville since 1994, but they played that game at Razorback Stadium. They'd never beaten Fayetteville at Bulldog Stadium, ever. So a big win for Rogers and an exciting one, but you turn the other side of the coin. Fayetteville's lost the last 3. So,
Rogers has the highest scoring team in all of 7A football now. And going up against, is it Bentonville West this weekend with the defense? It's only allowed 82 points. Big game in the 7A West. Biggest game.
Huge game.
There's 2 huge games in 7A, one Central and one West.
That's right. So you look at what Bentonville West has been able to do offensively. They just have so many weapons. And so does Rogers. They just spread the football out. So I'm really excited to see Jeff Regan, who is the quarterback for Rogers, going up against Trey Thompson, who's the quarterback for Bentonville, and what those two teams battle like. It's going to be exciting. It might be a high-scoring game, but we'll see. And that one is at Rogers. And then down in Central Arkansas, where you guys are, I mean, I think right now everyone's trying to figure out who's going to beat Bryant, if anybody, right? They're kind of like Greenwood of the 7A. Who can anyone beat them? They're just executing at a high level. Even Little Rock Christian, who had an opportunity. Bryant had some mistakes last week, but Bryant wins football games. They know how to win football games, and they were able to pull that one out. And then they got Pulaski Academy, and I talked to their head coach, Anthony Lucas, this morning, and he feels really good about his team. He says that they keep getting better. They continue to just focus on the little things, don't make mistakes, don't turn the ball over. He told us that he had his seniors call a team players only meeting that he didn't know anything about. And he's like, and after that, it kind of felt like things have really been rolling in the right direction. That was after that Highland Park game, I think week 3. So, it's going to be Pulaski Academy is going to have to play a perfect game to try to beat Bryant. But there are some things I think on tape that Bryant showed last week that they could exploit. So that one should be a fun one down there too. And it's at Pulaski Academy. So I know Coach Lucas felt good about that.
I want to talk Bentonville real quick here. I saw Coach Jody Grant earn his 100th win, 34-0 over Northside. You had a conversation with him on Varsity Vibe?
Yeah. So, for Coach Grant, you think about a guy who coached under a legend like Barry Lenny Sr. The last state title that Bentonville won was 14. They lost last year to Bryant, lost a few years before to Fayetteville. Still that elusive state title for Coach Grant. Hasn't grabbed it yet, but they've had so much success. And I think that they are definitely contenders this year. But the 7A West, like we talked about, is stacked. So we don't really know how that's all going to shake out. But if he's got a team to do it, this one is. It's very, very talented. And for Coach Grant to have the kind of success, 100 wins is huge. Brian Pratt, by the way, at Bentonville West won his 150th on Friday as well. But I think that if you were to ask Coach Grant, he'd love to have a state title attached to that too, as a head coach. But, it just kind of shows how dominant and successful his program has been at Bentonville. And, they just continue to churn out talent.
So I saw his program's got a couple of commits to Arkansas that have stayed committed. Blair Irvin, a wide receiver, and also DeQuayne Prevost. I'm not sure the position that DeQuayne plays, but he's the second highest rated commit. To see them stay committed to Arkansas right now means something.
Yeah, you look at guys. So Blair Irwin Jr. He's solid. He is built like a D1 wide receiver right now. You add a little bit more weight on him. He's jacked. DeQuan is a little more of a skinnier speedster kind of guy. He's fast and he's shifty. And I've seen him break a couple of tackles and take it to the house a handful of times when I've watched Bentonville in person. For Prevost, he moved up here from Louisiana to play at Bentonville, close to Arkansas. So he was in Louisiana last year, really had a lot of success down there, and then moved to Bentonville this year. And when I talked to him before the season started, he talked a lot about just wanting to be up here, wanting to be able to compete for a state title, but just be a guy who kind of led by his actions. He doesn't talk much. He's a little quiet, but I think that his play speaks for itself. And I think when you have guys who move into the area because of where they are going to potentially go to college, it's a little bit more than just committing for a monetary reason or, coaches play a big role in it too, but, I think he really just likes wanting to be an Arkansas Razorback. Now, here's the deal. He had a lot of offers from a lot of schools. I'm looking at it now. SMU, Auburn, Baylor, Florida, Texas A&M. I'm not saying anything's going to happen by any means. Oklahoma, Missouri, Oregon, Penn State. He's got offers from all of these schools. Arkansas is going to have to work hard to keep him committed, I think, because of how talented he is, and he is a hot commodity, and trying to make sure that he gets to the Hill when it's all said and done.
I got my latest copy of the Varsity Vibe Bulletin, and the first thing that's at the top of the email, and I really like this, are top plays from around the state on Friday. I had about a minute's worth of highlights of top plays, all from field level camera view, so you get a real good look at these plays too. It's good work. I know fans love these kind of videos.
Thank you. Yeah, they're fun, and I have to give a shout out. The one thing that we have really focused on trying to bring that's different from other outlets is that access. And so we have creatives that are either assigned to a school and a specific team. And so, for example, Alex Hall is always with Bentonville. Bentonville is like his beat, and he's there doing stuff with Bentonville. Or we hire them on a Friday night to go to a specific game. But we're getting, like you said, those field level highlights, but also coaches mic'd up, players mic'd up. After game interviews and locker room speeches and stuff like that. So bringing people what they want to see from Friday night is what we're trying to do, and do it differently than how it's been done around the state. So that's been fun. But yeah, those top plays, who doesn't love to relive some of those things on Saturday morning or on a Tuesday morning when you get the bulletin in your email?
Got to get your opinion on, what you might see this Saturday at Neyland Stadium. Do you think a change at head coach and the messaging and anything like that can maybe refocus this team into maybe looking like they did against Ole Miss?
Yes. I think that there is a lot riding on this team just wanting to go out and prove some people wrong some more and feel like they are going to just roll over and die. And so I hope that the fire that Petrino has maybe lit under this team and these changes kind of wake them up a little bit, and they go out to Tennessee and they put up a fight, because we know this offense is talented. Defense, I've got no idea. I just don't see the defense getting better than they were. It doesn't matter who was coaching them. It's tough to have those kind of big drastic changes in the middle of the season. But offensively, I think they can ride with Tennessee and try to keep up with Tennessee. They can't make mistakes. They're going to have to play really good football. I still just don't think that they win this game, especially in Knoxville. That's such a hard place to play, and Tennessee's playing so well right now. But again, I think anyone who is watching Arkansas, covering Arkansas at this point in the season with everything that's happened, you're happy to see a fight still left in this Razorback team, and that's what I think fans want to see on Saturday.
Yeah, right. If you see a fight, if you see some fight out of them, but you only see that in the first half, and the second half struggles continue. Does that change does that help you view the coaching search in a specific way? Because you've got Petrino's interview and audition process is different than anybody else's, and
right.
That's the same as also any sitting coach. Well, their process will be different as well from maybe like a John Gruden or a Coach Orgeron if they end up being real candidates here. If you see fight for part of the game but not all of the game, kind of like what you saw against Memphis, is that the kind of thing where you can end up with a bit of a spiral? I know you're trying to stop a downward spiral with a coaching change, and it felt like there was one there. And that could be the other side of this. You want to look at it in a positive way that, well, all right, there'll be some focus, there'll be some fire lit under them by a new coach. But what if that doesn't last very long?
Yeah, I think this is just, it's an audition. And I think what those in charge of naming the head coach next year are looking for is, can he rally the troops? and get buy-in, because if you can, and if you've got a team that's buying in and playing hard for the coach that they have right now, you think about kind of what that means on a grander scale. If you do end up hiring Bobby Petrino because things go in a certain direction, that's less players, you would think, going into the transfer portal. That's more of the team that you're keeping together for next year. How much continuity in the world that we have right now in college athletics can you keep from one year to the other? That's always the big question. But if you're able to see that guys are buying into what Bobby Petrino is trying to sell, how much does that factor in with you trying to have some continuity with this team, some familiarity with this team going into next season? How much does that play a role in whether you do take that interim tag off of Bobby or not?
Alyssa, we'll leave it there and visit again next week. Appreciate your time, and we'll be downloading Varsity Vibe very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You got it. Alyssa Orange with Varsity Vibe Podcast, joining us every Tuesday on Halftime. Stay with us. Back in a moment. We'll wrap up hour number 1.
We got 8 weeks to show what we can and can't do, and let's have fun with it. Let's work extremely hard, and let's all stick together.
This is Halftime.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Equipment down, got a leak, lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR. Grit is who you can trust.
Artie's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two, with fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's Country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
Dad, the driver looks dirty.
You yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Here's NASCAR Hall of Famer Mark Martin.
As a race car driver for 40 years, I survived a lot of crashes. Not everyone can run into a wall at 200 miles an hour and walk away. Without a seatbelt, I wouldn't be alive today. Now I'm retired, back home in Arkansas driving my pickup. I'm shocked how many people aren't wearing seatbelts. Why risk your life when it only takes 2 seconds to buckle up? Take it from number 6. Buckle up, Arkansas.
A message from the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Budweiser, the American lager. Time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train, and I was feeling near as faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed a diesel down just before it rained and rode us all the way to New Orleans. I pulled my harpoon out of my dirty red bandana. I was playing soft while Bobby sang the blues. Windshield wipers slapping time, I was holding Bobby's standing mad. We sang every song that Javi knew.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
LeBron had a second decision today. This is actually the announcement instead.
Today is Taco Tuesday.
Darn right it is. In fact, today actually is National Taco Day. Feels like a day that we could all celebrate together, Matt, at Joe's Grilling Cantina at 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith as well, because today you get $1 crispy or beef chicken tacos all day long. As long as you dine in, hey, can't get any worse than that. Is there any better than that? Could get a lot worse than that. Rapid fire taco questions for both of my co-hosts here. Matt, cornflower.
Rapid fire, huh? I really messed that one up. Man, I'd usually order a side of corn and a side of flour, so I don't know what I order one of both.
Both can be an option. Yeah. Both can definitely be an option. C-unit, corn or flour?
Flour.
Crispy or soft?
Soft.
Matt,
soft.
Beef or chicken?
Beef.
Whatever fajita meat is. You don't order the shredded anything.
Chicken fajita or beef fajita. You're getting both again. That's two times. Street taco or Taco Bell taco?
Oh, Taco Bell.
I think I just threw up a little bit.
I think yours is street taco.
Yeah, there we
That's
go.
Definitely the one. Green or red salsa? You can put them both on if you want, since you're going both.
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 sauce packets per taco, or do I hear 4?
Onion, cilantro.
No sauce.
Shredded cheese, and then I need some salsa verde. I need some tomatillo, and I need the regular red salsa. I mean, the couple of Mexicos I go to, I really don't even have to order anything. They just start bringing me the stuff the way it's pretty good.
You walk in and they know how to say the usual in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to say it. They just give you the regular nod, right? All right, so is a taco a sandwich? This is a philosophical portion of the quiz.
Is it a Mexican sandwich like a pizza is an Italian sandwich? Okay.
But the problem is that the Mexican sandwich is the torta. It's not National Torta Day, so I can't go in that direction.
What about a burrito?
See, a burrito is just is a tubed form here. That's wrapping it around. That's a wrap. That's like what we do with sandwiches and wrap them now. So I don't think a taco is a sandwich. I think a taco is a taco, and a torta is a sandwich. Get in on the tortas at some point if you haven't tried those. They're underrated.
Pupusa? You ever get those at the El Salvadorian place?
Pupusa is very good. I'm not exactly sure how it's made, but I do like, first of all, the way that you pronounce it.
They make a garlic and onion one that is just, you'll want to make out afterwards. They make a cheese and jalapeno one that's just like, so good.
It is really good. So another philosophical question for you guys here. Is a hot dog just another form of a soft taco?
No comparison to me.
It's the same sort of shape, right? But I'd say it's different. It's different because it's bread, and that's making it a torta. So then it's a whole other conversation that you'd have to get into here. But today is a day to celebrate. National Taco Day. I can't think of anything better, actually. The problem is I don't have plans to have tacos on National Taco Day. There was fried chicken last night, and it could end up being fried chicken again since there's some leftovers.
Got some chicken marinating right now. Going to do some turmeric rice with got some chicken legs. So yeah, man, it's got dinner already thinking about it.
Stay with us. We head into hour number 2, and Hall of Famer Clay Henry joins us for a couple of hours. Join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Right back after this.
Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling.
This one's for the flavor fanatics. Sour Apple 5-Hour Energy Shots don't mess around. They bring the bite. Tart, tangy, and packed with tasty caffeine, this little 2-ounce bottle punches above its weight. With 0 sugar and as much caffeine as a 12-ounce premium cup of coffee, it's the kind of pick-me-up that keeps your taste buds happy without the crash. And it doesn't stop at Sour Apple. There are 17 bold flavors waiting for you to discover. Pick one up in store or stock up online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon today.
I want to ride my bicycle.
Looking for a new ride or need a tune-up? Champion Cycling in Fort Smith has you covered. From top-of-the-line bikes like Specialized and Surly to expert repairs, apparel, and accessories, we've got everything you need to hit the trails. Stop by 5500 Mazard Road during business hours or shop anytime online at championcycling.com. Champion Cycling, helping you share in the joy of cycling.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny sky. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 70s to low 80s. Slight chance of a few showers or late-day thunderstorms across the south. Now tonight, partly to mostly cloudy. Overnight low will drop down mid-50s north, low 60s south, and sunshine mid to upper 70s on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Expect to go score every time we touch the ball.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hour number 2, and welcome back in. It's 12:01 on a Tuesday. You're listening to Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. This is Phil Elson, joined by my partner, Matt Jones. Christian Johnston is on the producer's chair. When you call the Lewis Automotive Hotline, that's the first voice you'll hear, 877-377-6963. And we'll bring on Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry in just a moment. I see a report here from On3, Matt Jones, that the Hulu docuseries following Bill Belichick in North Carolina has been canceled.
Oh,
go figure, with a team that looks absolutely awful when they play against a real Division I college football team. You want to talk about a thing that's ready to spiral? I think that looks like it's ready to spiral. It already has started spiraling.
I was going to say there has been zero hope. Like you're talking about the North Carolina Tar Heels. Didn't they have the very first game of the season, something like that, and just got absolutely trashed by TCU?
That's right. It was against TCU. It was in Chapel Hill, and that was the focus of college football for that weekend. If I remember, I think ESPN was on campus, and they had a huge party. And that's a beautiful campus. Been there for a baseball super regional, absolutely gorgeous, and all around campus were the Belichick slogans and some of the sayings that he and Jordan wanted to trademark. How quickly do you think they can convince Belichick to maybe give this college football thing up by the time the season ends? Do you give him an off ramp? Do you give him another season? I think the buyout changed. I thought it was a buyout that changed to $1 million if he made it to this July the 1st. So, I don't know. You're kind of wondering about a turnaround at Arkansas. What about a turnaround?
I'd give him 3 years minimum, right? Like you got to give him I think so. I think you got to give him at least 3 years. And, I mean, it's Bill Belichick. It's any coach, really. You give him a few years now. If he's not actor, I don't know. There's other things, I guess, that are going off the field. But if in 3 years he's only got 8 wins, then yeah, maybe it's time to part ways.
I was reading through a WRAL news report. That's one of the TV stations out of Raleigh that is titled "Divided Locker Room, Disastrous Results. Players, Parents Blame Belichick Culture for UNC Problems." And that's just the title. I've made it through half the article. And it sounds like a disaster, absolute disaster. You bring on Hall of Famer Clay Henry here. It feels like a disaster at Arkansas right now, too, of course, but we've got a different coach now running things and a different message from the top. The message is not going to be changing at North Carolina, Clay. Who knows if the results will. We're hoping the results change at Arkansas with Bobby Petrino running it.
I used to sit down at Steel Wings Duck Club with Ryan Mallett and talk about off the record, because he could not do interviews about the Belichick culture, and also talk to Robert Flowers, who's Trey Flowers' dad, about he asked me, he says, please don't ask to interview my son. He said it's just there's so many things that you can say that will get you fined, get you in trouble. The culture is just really, really different inside that locker room at New England. So you've got one way or the highway, and it is just an interesting culture. So when they say that the parents and the players and those behind the scenes say that there's things going on behind the scenes, I believe it.
Well, and to your point, Clay, when you're winning, it's a little easier to do that culture. And then if you're getting your head smashed in each week, then it's a little tougher to do that culture.
Yeah, he's a good defensive coach. I mean, he understands exactly what it takes but he didn't have the talent that he's had in the past. He doesn't have a Trey Flowers. He doesn't have a Brady. He doesn't. So what he's asking,
Teddy Bruschi, Rodney Harrison,
yeah, just keep going. Yeah. And they had all-stars on that defense, and if you had more than a couple of bad games, you were gone. Well, you can't just flush a player because you find out that he's not quite good enough. It's you're going to have to coach those guys up, and that's a different mentality. It's It's tough to go from college to the pros. It's tough to go from pros back to college. There are some that can do it. I can remember Lou Holtz talking about how I think it was when he first got to the Jets, he wanted to talk to Joe Namath. And his agent says, well, I'm not giving you his number. That was in the summer. What do you mean I can't talk to my quarterback? He'll be there when y'all start practices. No, you can't talk to him. And that, I think Lou figured out pretty quickly that he was a duck out of water.
Well,
in the NFL, it works both ways. It's just two different cultures.
You're talking too about the idea of you bring up some of those defensive players that he had with the Patriots, and that you could all look at them as coaches on the field. Heck,
Ray Rule, Samuel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a head coach right now who was playing linebacker for him right there. Coaches on the field, and how important that is to team success. And it wasn't just Brady. I mean, it really wasn't just Brady. It was all those other guys.
They
on the
were
defensive
really
side.
good on defense.
So do you lose that going to college? I mean, there are leaders on the field in college, just maybe not as many who are viewed as legitimate. And maybe it's a little more difficult to find that with so much roster upheaval, and maybe it's more difficult to find that in a first year. But so much of what we've been talking about, I'm not going to play the Bobby Petrino sound right now because we're wondering if the change at the top has a lot to do with what you might see on the field, and it probably does. But what about the messaging to the team leaders and trying to get them to a place where they're actually leading in an effective way on the field?
I can remember sitting down. It might have been mid-February. It wasn't quite March, but I was going to do a one-on interview with Coach Petrino, kind of preview spring for the magazine. We sit down, and I asked him about leadership within the team, and he says, I don't want any leaders on the team. And I mean, he's like, Coach, I've never heard that. He says, I'm the leader. They need to follow me. We're going to tell them exactly what to do. When you talk to them and our culture is in place, the answers that you'll get will be what I've told them. They will mimic me. They will understand exactly what we're trying to do. But it's going to take a little bit for us to get there. But as far as them leading them, no, I don't want that. I want them to follow myself, my brother, the defensive coordinator. Paul was the offensive coordinator, quote. Bobby's the play caller. We knew that. But some of the day-to-day operation, Paul did. But he says they should be spitting back to you the things they've learned from us, and they're going to follow our every step. And I would assume that's what he's trying to do now is when you eventually get some of these defensive players, they'll be repeating things about stance, it's about eyes. It will be exactly the same kind of things that we've heard Bobby say in these early press conferences. They're gonna regurgitate what they've heard from their coach, and they're following him step by step.
And I wonder too, because what you have defensive captains, guys that have been around football for a little bit, guys that were voted captains by their teammates. They've got to worry about their own stance. They got to worry about their own technique and all of that. But they're watching the same film. It's not like you lead by example in these cases, I think, and that wasn't happening on that end. Defensive, I don't think there was a defensive leader. At least we haven't seen evidence of that. It's been on talent. It's been on not being lined up properly and everything.
Well,
there's a little bit of talent on that defense. That
you lead by making plays.
Yeah. Well, it comes down to making plays on that side. Well, really on both sides of the ball too, and just kind of hoping to see more plays offensively, and they have to make more plays offensively because defensively it's a team that just make enough plays to give the offense the ball, maybe on a short field a couple of times, and give them a chance to win. We got Charlie here on hold. Charlie, are you there? How you doing today?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me good?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go for it.
Well, I will say this about the defense. The defense was awful against Notre Dame, but I do think for the most part, if you think about it, they made enough plays. They weren't good. I'm not calling them good. They're probably not very good, but they made enough plays in the Ole Miss and the Memphis game. We've got to find a way to come out in the third quarter and be better offensively. That's been a problem the whole year. Now I don't know about the first two games as much, but yeah, man, we can't be coming out flat like that. That's been a issue. Whatever it's been, whether it's been MAs, just he talked about lack of energy and things like that. We got to figure that out. And so, because I don't know what the total scoring is in the second half, Phil, but it ain't been very good these last. Definitely that Memphis and Ole Miss game. Was it about 10 points? How many points did we get in those games?
It was 10 points in Memphis and Ole Miss. That was it, 10 points.
I mean, you come on. I mean, you got that. That's got to be better. But and I agree with Clay. Like he was talking about how Bobby is. Like these players, like they're gonna follow him. Look, they don't really have a choice too. Like most of these players are older. This is a more experienced team. And if there is leaders on this team, or there are leaders on this team, they're going to be older players. And you got 7 games. You're 2-3. You got 7 games. If you're an older player, to put some good stuff on tape. And there is some good stuff. I think Carmona's had some good stuff. Robinson, Taylor's had some good stuff. But Blake and some of those other guys. But I'm talking about some of those guys on defense. Like, dude, you got 7 games. Throw everything in the back that has happened. Throw it out. I know it's in the past. It's over with. You got 7 games to put some good stuff on tape. Whether or not you're going to play on Sunday if you want to play on Sunday, you better. I don't know who on this defense. I thought Sori would have been that guy. He's been highly disappointing. I'm hoping that he can figure it out these last 7. And Quincy Rhodes has been okay. He's been one bright spot. How many sacks does he have, Phil?
Got 5.
I can't remember. Yeah, so he's been one of the bright spots, but. Yeah, man. They don't really have a choice, man. Because, this is it for a lot of them if they don't figure it out. And then any younger guy that gets to play, you're auditioning too, whether you're here or not.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. Y'all
Charlie,
have a good one.
It's good to hear from you. Thank you. 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Hotline. And Matt, yesterday, I heard Petrino kind of playing to each player's own pride and brand for what they want out of their football career moving forward. And to me, that is the last gasp of a coach when you're talking to a player about a point of pride and about essentially telling that player, if you're not going to play for the logo, if you're not going to play for the name on the front of the jersey or the guy that's playing next to you, at least play for yourself. At least play for yourself. But that, I wonder, and this is just the other side of that, and this goes along with one of the things Charlie just said. There's a lot of veterans on this team. There's a lot of guys who this will be their last year of football, of college football. And I wonder if in their minds, they can see that finish line and are almost ready for it. You know what I mean? I've seen this with professional ball players that saw the finish line of their career, and for the last month, they have a decision to make. Am I going to play like this is my last month and I care? Or am I going to play like this is my last month and I'm looking towards whatever I'm doing in the future?
Yeah, that's a very interesting way to put it, Phil. I've never looked at it that way while I was playing, but I could see your point. I could see other guys saying, this is it. I'm going off to, if it's to work for Amazon, if it's to go be a high school football coach, if it's to go do whatever else it is that you want to do. That's a way to do it. That's usually not a way. You're usually not going to win a lot of games if you're not focused on what's going on next.
And to me, Clay, that's the problem. If Saturday in Knoxville doesn't go well, if it's some sort of replay of the Notre Dame game, that could end up being the viewpoint for
the next 6 weeks.
For a good chunk of this team for the remaining games.
Yeah, we don't know. That it's. We're into an area that hasn't been explored. It's would you say virgin territory, and you're walking into the woods and you're not sure what the path is to. Are you going to just back out of the woods, or are you going forward through it? You're in the NIL time. You're with an interim coach, and there's going to be ups and downs, and there's going to. I looked at the depth chart, and I'm not sure that it really matters. It was the same depth chart, and I think that if you're a head coach in this situation, you're probably going to just churn out the same depth chart. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the starting lineups that we see, especially on defense. And you mentioned Sorey. I can't remember if it was Phil or Matt. He just has looked the last couple of weeks like he's been playing hurt. Just didn't look like the same kind of aggressive nature, wrapping up. And I don't know whether it's, if he's got an injury. It may be that it's a mental injury. I don't know. It's a bizarre situation in that you've got a lot more money spent on the offensive side of the ball. It was, to me, both the defensive coaches and the defensive players seemed to understand that they were being blamed. They didn't react great with that. Now, I don't know whether that can be corrected now, whether they, if what's going on in practice, that it would correct it. But he's given them a different schedule. They're done quicker. I think that practicing maybe a little shorter, but maybe a little more intense is what's going on. We'll see if that has an effect. Last week is different. That's an off week. This is a game week. But he's going to give them, they're not going to do much Sunday, and they're off on Monday. So that's a gift to the players. But he expects physical practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see how they travel. We'll see who travels. Does he make any changes with that? So I think looking at the depth chart is not a clue for who's going to play Saturday.
877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. And remember, the Fence Man, if you need to protect something and protect your home, of course, or anything else like your business, heavy-duty security fencing, powered automatic gates at the Fence Man. The Fence Man has our listening audience covered and has been doing it for more than 40 years. Custom built, built to last, free quotes, and financing for 18 months. If you're looking for security fencing, nobody does it any better than the Fence Man. 479-782-3936, thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. We'll be back in a moment. This is Halftime.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play Store.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18-month same-as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Man, this takes me back to the 2000s.
All your Y2K favorites are back for only $3 or less. Only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to MyBookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. Ew, yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Neil Young is getting old, searching for a heart of gold. His only number one song is the number one thing most people get wrong. We tend to think we're as good as gold, but in Jeremiah 17:9 it's told, the human heart is desperately wicked right from the start. The Holy Spirit will rip you apart, but then give you a new heart. Mine for the treasure of Jesus written in the scrolls. Otherwise, you're chasing fool's gold. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hey, Matt's Jaguars 4-1 after a 31-28 win over the Chiefs yesterday.
Let's go.
Beam with pride, right? I see Rasheed Wallace apparently was at the game, according to a tweet here from an account called Jags Drew. You were a big Sheed fan, right? Weren't you, Matt?
Rasheed Wallace would be better in today's. People think Draymond Green's good, and he's not even close. He wouldn't even get on the floor if he was on the same team as Rasheed Wallace. He's one of the power forward game, that stretch four, it's not the same as it used to be. You think Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, Rasheed Wallace, they don't have that position isn't as
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, it's not as prevalent as it is now.
You know what Sheed had, though? He had that crazy gene, too.
He had that bald spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It will do that to you.
Him and Manu Ginobili, all bald spot team.
Well, this tweet by Jags Drew says, Rasheed Wallace, I told him I was a big fan of him growing up, and he said, get the F out of my face. so the attitude definitely holds up. There
Who's that? Hey, Clay, who's the guy in that you were talking about in Ted Lasso? The same
Roy
thing.
Kent.
Yeah. Is that Roy? I don't know if that's him or not. He's like, he's like, it is you.
That was Sheed being nice, by the way.
Yeah, right?
That's exactly. By the way, Joe Flacco's been traded to the Bengals along with a 6th-round pick, and Cleveland gets a 5th-round pick in return. So how about Dylan Gabriel for the rest of the season, Matt Jones? But that also means at some point, because Gabriel's not going to last more than another 2 games, the Shedeur train is getting on the tracks.
Shedeur Sanders will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns next year, week 1.
Shedeur Sanders will start the second half for Cleveland against Pittsburgh next week.
Fade whoever Spencer Rattler's playing, bet the other team.
He won last week though, but it was against.
I think he might be like 1-11. So yeah,
that's the one. So you're saying there's a chance. Let's go to the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Jesse in Springdale, somewhere on the road. What's up, Jesse? How are you?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm on 49 right now.
Well, go for it.
I wanted to ask. I know since we interviewed that offensive coordinator from Missouri, I feel like the opinion out there, what I've been hearing, is that we need somebody with SEC experience, like a tenured head coach. Do you feel like there's a coordinator out there that might be comparable to like Kirby Smart when he was with Alabama that would be like a big get like that?
Well, let's see. Smart by that point, how many times had he been a coordinator on
three-time national champion.
on a defense that won a national championship? I don't know if we see something quite at that level, and maybe not out of the SEC quite at the moment. Yeah. Are you looking on the defensive side or are you looking on the offensive side here? You talk about Kirby Smart. There you go. It's a great defensive mind, and it's worked in Georgia's case. Let's see. Anybody stand out to you? I know Colin Klein. I know it stood out to you, Matt.
I'm a Colin Klein fan, even back when he was a quarterback and then being at Kansas State, won back-to-back Big 12 titles. And say what you want about the Big 12. Hey, Kansas State still went and won them. And the A&M was before the season started, that was one of my teams I picked to make the college football playoff. I thought Marcel Reed and Moss, the running back they have there, and then Elko being that defensive guy, I might be in the minority for the next Razorback head football coach, but I hope he has a defensive background. Like you want somebody, and what Bobby was talking about, being tough, being physical, maximum effort. Those are Razorback standards because you don't have 17 5 stars and 4 stars on your team. You got to give the maximum effort, and I think Bobby has a little bit of that toughness. But you're not going to you're not going to win a lot of games if you don't have that defensive mentality here at Arkansas.
One of the names that that's out there and people have talked about, and he played at Arkansas. He was not on the field other than special teams. Kane Womack is the defensive coordinator. Dave Womack's
Dave
son.
was a coach there when I was there.
Yeah. He's he's been a head coach. I think at South Alabama. Wasn't they didn't roll with it, but he definitely is coaching a pretty good defense right now at Alabama. And Kalen DeBoer is spending his time calling plays and with the offense, and they look pretty good.
You think that's all his
Georgia
defense, Clay? You think he's getting the run pretty much? Yeah.
I think Kalen DeBoer is an offensive play caller. That's his focus. Now, I'm not saying that he won't put in his 2 cents for defense, but his history is that he's an offensive play caller.
877-377-6963 if you want to get in on this conversation on our Lewis Automotive Hotline. There is a text from, who is this from, who says, I miss good, gritty defensive football. And I think that could work at Arkansas. And I don't know do you view it the same way as how things were working under Stoops at Kentucky? Not necessarily, they'll have an explosive offense, though, and I still view it as you can have an explosive offense here at Arkansas, certainly with Petrino as the coach, but you got to be able to stop the run, too, and not get run over. And, man, like if you talk about toughness and specifically on defense, I think that's lacked the last couple of years. There were a lot of big plays last year, a lot of trouble tackling the last couple of seasons. And, that's coming on a staff that, I think had more of an offensive bent to it. Sam on the offensive side too.
You think they made the right move by letting Travis Williams go? Like you think it was kind? Yeah, you think so?
From a lot of the things that you're talking about of you being aligned properly, and just it seems to me that they may have missed on prospects out of the transfer portal. And to me that might go to the defensive staff specifically. The way they were talking earlier before the season even started, you could tell They didn't like the numbers or even, I think, the players that they had on the defensive line. And I think that's been reflected in the way the team has played on that side and been reflected on the coaches who've been let go.
Yeah, I think that without question, the defensive coaches were frustrated that they weren't able to go after, some elite defensive end and cornerbacks because of their restrictions in NIL and revenue share where the money was being spent. I think that might have reflected in both the coaches' attitude and players that and you say, well, they missed. Well, maybe they didn't miss. Maybe they went after the right players. They just couldn't get them because of finances. And that's the battle that you face at any level. Where do you spend your money? It's the same thing that goes on in the NFL. It's stopping the run is important. And if you can't stop the run, then it's a slow bleed. But yeah, it's.
What about our lack of getting
Bobby's
turnovers, Clay?
That's where I was.
Okay.
So, and I'm sorry, I'd take a long time to get unwound sometimes, but whenever I sit down with Bobby, he would really be simple that football is it's about two things: the team that can protect their quarterback, keep them from getting hit, and at the same time hit the other team's quarterback is the team that's going to win. And when you hit the other team's quarterback, you cause turnovers. And if you think about where turnovers came for Arkansas last year, it was their quarterback getting hit, blindsided, being chased. Two things happen: one, you fumble, or you throw it up. And you throw it up high and late over the middle when you're being chased across your body. And Talon did a lot of that because he was being chased. You've got to hit the other team's quarterback too, and I don't see Arkansas doing that. In the Notre Dame game, the only time they touched the quarterback, it was a personal foul for a late hit. He had all the time in the world for his receivers to cut up the secondary. So Quincy Rhodes has been the exception to all of that, but they have to move the quarterback. They have to hit him. They have to do some things that I haven't seen in the last three games, those three losses.
Meanwhile,
get turnovers is about hitting the quarterback, Matt. That's where I was headed for.
And you're playing a Tennessee team that's leading the nation in sacks, averaging more than 4 per game, and they have 4 players with at least 2 sacks this year. 877-377-6963 for our Lewis Automotive Hotline. We got a break. We'll come back in just a moment.
I think my hunger's still there, and as long as I can get up every morning and be motivated and feel great about it, I want to keep doing it.
This is Halftime.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. How do you know what actually works? With a 4.9-star rating from over 1.7 million client reviews, you're in good hands with BetterHelp. Talk with real qualified therapists, not AI. Wellness shouldn't be overwhelming, and therapists can help figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a screen detox. Visit BetterHelp.com/score for 10% off your first month. This is an ad by BetterHelp. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. How do you know what actually works? With a 4.9-star rating from over 1.7 million client reviews, you're in good hands with BetterHelp. Talk with real qualified therapists, not AI. Wellness shouldn't be overwhelming, and therapists can help figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a screen detox. Visit BetterHelp.com/score for 10% off your first month.
Not like I got anything against Bo, but
to be fair, y'all both,
Oh, that's low. That's called very low-hanging fruit. Incredibly
That way
low-hanging
y'all can
fruit.
both get to it.
This is Halftime.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Hardee's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two, with fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home, quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
If it rumbles, roars, or needs a little more power, take it to Exhausted Muffler and Motorsports in Clarksville. From muffler and catalytic converter repair to full custom exhaust systems, they've got you covered. Need welding or mobile welding along with equipment repair? They do that too. Custom fabrication done right. Located at 215 East Taylor Road. For performance, precision, and power, it's Exhausted Muffler and Motorsports. Call today at 479-214-2729 or stop by today.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
They say that there's a hole in the atmosphere. The things you think will last just disappear. You were ready to say I do. Somebody laid the bomb on you, and now you need a sympathetic ear. Tell me about it. Tell me about teardrops in the dark. Someone to hold you tight. You can't stand another lonely night. Or come closer and tell.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Headed right to our Lewis Automotive Hotline here in hour number 2 of Halftime. Jawan in Fayetteville has been holding. Hey, Jawan, good afternoon. How you doing?
Going well. How y'all doing today,
Great.
gentlemen?
Good to hear from you.
I was just taking a look through recruiting rankings as they currently stand.
Uh-oh.
And we have 10 SEC foes in the top 25 of recruiting. Now, I keep looking at this. We can hire whoever we want, but can we all come up with a plan of how can we get some better players in here, man? Because as I look at it, and I heard Coach Saban say this, he's never taken a bad player and made him good. Now, when you're coaching Julio Jones and Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, those guys were exceptional talents. Now, how can the University of Arkansas, how can we get back to where we're pulling in, first off, our best players out of our state, and secondly, some better players from the surrounding states, Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, whatever, Alabama, etc. And I'll be quick, gentlemen. I was watching 2002 Arkansas versus Auburn, and I was watching that game because Auburn went on to win a national championship. I mean, well, they didn't. They got skimped out of it. Let me say that. They went undefeated 2 years later and didn't get a chance to play for it. But I watched Matt Jones, Fred Talley, Dearius Howard. They went down there and they took the fight to Jason Campbell, Cadillac Williams, and they beat them on their field. How can we get that kind of fight and heart and excitement back in this Arkansas program? I go look at those games because that season, whenever we made it to the SEC West Championship and played against Georgia, that's what made me fall in love with the Razorbacks. How can we get that type of heart, those type of players back in this program, gentlemen?
Well, I mean, that's kind of an all-encompassing question here, and we had Danny West on. It was last week or the week before, Clay. And what was the number that he'd said, Matt? Was it no better
like 07 was the last time they had a top 20 recruiting class? I think it starts by getting your in-state guys, because let's say you're a different player, you're a player out of state, and then you say, hey, the number 1 ranked player in the state doesn't even go to Arkansas. The number 2 ranked player in the state doesn't even go to That's like, you're kind of like, they can't even get their own guys. Like, don't we have one of our best offensive linemen that's going to LSU next year? In 2 years in a row, our best offensive lineman in the state has went to a different school in the SEC. I mean,
Darius Kern out of Marion.
That's not good.
You know, but I think it's got to be different now than in 2007 or any time up until this NIL era. Hogwild texts in, more NIL, better players. In 2003, it doesn't matter as much, or he says it doesn't matter at all. You know, and this goes to if you get NIL right, whatever that means, you know, bringing it in-house now at this front office led by Remy Cofield, does that go along with recruiting better, with better recruiting rankings, better athletes on the field? I mean, I think, Clay, our thought process was nowadays would be, yes, absolutely. So getting that right maybe means, and the coach, you know, you got to get those two things right. I think maybe NIL leads to the idea of who the coach is going to be, and then from there the message and the NIL go together.
You know, we had guys, you know, you think of Tony Bua, a Louisiana guy. I think of Caleb Miller, a Texas guy. We had there was a lot of people, Sparky Hamilton, guys that were from these states that got overlooked by Texas or Texas A&M, got overlooked by, they played with a chip on their shoulder. They did. I don't know if you still get that same deal last year, but they felt like they were overlooked. And so when they stepped on the field, they always felt like they were out there to prove somebody wrong.
But I also think,
I think now let's you're right about Tony. He was, I mean, he wanted to go to Texas, and Mac Brown told him he wasn't a Division I player. He told me that when he got here, and I've had that before. Sparky, Texas A&M wanted him. He was a top end player. One of John Outlaw's probably best ever players. So Sparky was not under the radar, but he did. You know, the relationship between John Outlaw and that was big. But the NIL is important. These top end offensive linemen that you talked about, that was a bidding war that Arkansas lost because they decided that was too much to spend on one player. Couldn't
do you
spend
think
the
other teams,
highest percentage.
You
got to have more to be able to bid on that type of player. If you're the best player in Arkansas, there's going to be 6 or 7 top NIL schools come. You've got to get that fixed. And if you ask anybody, any of these top coaches, top programs around the country, LSU, Alabama, and you say, there's a player in Arkansas, well, we know we can outbid Arkansas. So that's a problem that has to be fixed. And then you do have to evaluate and fill in the blanks with some 3 stars that you think have, you know, that one magic thing, which is heart. And if you want to talk about Tony Bua, that's where you have to start, is his heart. You can have players like that. I just did a feature on Tony Cherico, who started 4 years in the 80s at nose guard, 6 foot 230. That's all he was. And he was a 6 foot 220 offensive guard that Lou Holtz signed because their recruiting was off at the very end. He played for Ken Hatfield, but Holtz signed him. That's evaluating heart, quickness, toughness, and doing a good job. Jesse Branch went and found Tony. So at Arkansas, you have to have some of those, but you also have to make sure that Sean Andrews,
Darren McFadden. Yeah.
So they were top end players that came to Arkansas because they wanted to play at Arkansas. But in the battle of NIL, they might want to come to Arkansas, but if there's $200,000 difference, they can't do it. So that has to be fixed. That top end player that you get. Crutchfield went to Missouri, didn't like what he saw there. Red-shirted, transferred, but he was lost initially because of NIL. It's not like he didn't want to come to Arkansas. He made all the visits, but in the end, the bidding got out of hand, and he went, and took the money. So that has to be fixed. We can't. What was 20 years ago, the reasons why somebody would stay in state to Arkansas, they didn't have an option of going and making more money. The option then was, I can go to Arkansas, and after I'm done, I'll make the money, in the workforce. I can work for Tyson or J.B. Hunt or Walmart. But now they're taking the money on the front end instead of the tail end.
All right, we got a break. 877-377-6963 is the Lewis Automotive Hotline. We'll get to the phones, wrap up hour number 2 in just a moment.
You are very knowledgeable, and you keep it interesting.
This is halftime.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Don't miss the big porch sale at Gelco Outdoors. Casual clothing, work clothing, and hunting clothing for men, women, and children. Clothing is priced at 50% off the lowest price, which means savings of 75% or more off the original price. Brands like Ariat, Browning, Wrangler, Drake, Non-Typical, and more. Save up to 75% off at Gelco Outdoors Porch Sale, 4600 South C Road in Fort Smith.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or
The
prevent
tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. How do you know what actually works? With a 4.9-star rating from over 1.7 million client reviews, you're in good hands with BetterHelp. Talk with real qualified therapists, not AI. Wellness shouldn't be overwhelming, and therapists can help figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a screen detox. Visit BetterHelp, HELP.com/score for 10% off your first month. This is an ad by BetterHelp. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. How do you know what actually works? With a 4.9-star rating from over 1.7 million client reviews, you're in good hands with BetterHelp. Talk with real qualified therapists, not AI. Wellness shouldn't be overwhelming, and therapists can help figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a screen detox. Visit BetterHelp, HELP.com/score for 10% off your first month.
If you or a loved one experienced emotional distress due to slow internet 25 years ago, Taco Bell believes you're entitled to a delicious escape. The Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos, 7-layer burrito, caramel apple empanada, and more. All $3 or less. Claim 5 returning faves and relive what you love from the 2000s. If you already suffered dial-up, don't wait any longer. Experience Taco Bell's Decades Y2K menu now. At participating stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price of participation vary. Tax extra.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Young, stay young. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Here's Jay in Fayetteville on our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Jay, take us up to the top of the hour here. What's up?
What's up, guys? Huge fan. I love the show. I listen all the time.
Thanks.
Okay, listen. Isn't the real issue that there's no NIL money for hog football? Isn't that the deal?
Well, I mean, it can be presented. I don't know if it's the idea that there's no money. Maybe the idea that there's not enough to go out and get the players that you want, or maybe too much was spent on one side instead of the other side.
All I hear is that every other SEC team has buku money for NIL, and we don't.
Well,
I don't
last
think
week
it's every team.
Last week I heard Hunter even talk about Arkansas being in a better place with the current NIL Go structure than other teams in the SEC. So I mean, he wasn't really presenting it in that dire of a situation, at least not last week. You know, and I think the idea is that they're trying to get some momentum, progressive momentum, to get this front office situation to where they want it. And that's what I'm hearing from him, is this $500,000 that was cleared through NIL Go was done through the front office, which is inside the athletic department and much differently set up the way that Arkansas Edge was set up. So I think at some point the message has changed about, well, we might not have had those resources before, but we're in a better position now.
So what about Jerry Jones one, Rhett Lashley, and he's not donating money because we're not going to hire Rhett Lashley? Is that just a rumor, or is that just
I would assume that would be a rumor. I would assume, Jay, that that whether or not Jerry donates to football might not necessarily be dependent on his first choice being the coach. But I don't know. I'm not sitting there with him.
Okay. Appreciate it, guys. Have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
Jay. Yeah, appreciate you.
I've never known that Jerry was, that kind of a donor. I mean, they've maintained a luxury box. I know that he there was a land purchase that impacted the athletic department in a positive way. But yeah, I don't think that he's involved in picking the coach. He probably likes Rhett. I don't think that he'll be the factor in the hire that some people have hinted that he is. So I I think Jerry's got enough problems dealing with what he's got in Dallas.
Yeah, I think there was something about maybe like flipping the bird inadvertently at a game last Sunday. That he might not have realized he did it. He was just kind of lost in the moment. I mean, who hasn't done this before that owns the team too? All right, we go into hour number 3 of halftime, and you can be a part of the show by calling or texting the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio coming up in about 20 minutes, and we are right back.
Protect what matters most with the Fence Man. From heavy-duty security fencing to powered automatic gates, the Fence Man's got Fort Smith covered. The Fence Man has served the Fort Smith area for over 40 years. Custom built and built to last. Free quotes, financing for 18 months. When it comes to security fencing, nobody builds it better than the Fence Man. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanar.com. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recover from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State. With 10 minutes left in the second quarter, Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny sky. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 70s to low 80s. Slight chance of a few showers or late day thunderstorms across the south. Now tonight, partly to mostly cloudy. Overnight low will drop down mid 50s north, low 60s south, and sunshine mid to upper 70s on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a smart aleck like that.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
What name of one Razorback?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
2 hours into halftime, and welcome back in at 1:01 in the afternoon. This is ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnson producing, Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry. You can read him, of course, at wholehogsports.com. And Matt, I had a little bit of I needed a few calories during the commercial break, so I went over into the kitchen and grabbed. I took my son on Saturday, so we have a football game. We had a couple of errands to run. Ended up walking into, and I don't know why I decided to do it. This wasn't part of the errands. Walking into an Oriental grocery store. That's what it's called on the actual marquee. And we start walking around here, and I'm thinking, well, I'm going to show Gabe some things he's never quite seen before. And he stops. We're 5 steps into it. He points to a large jar of homemade kimchi and said, "Let's get that." And I'm like, who are you and what have you done with my 13-year-old son who 2 years ago wouldn't even eat pizza? And now he's asking for kimchi, and I'm talking the homemade stuff that's got some fire to it. This is good stuff. Those were my calories during the commercial break, and I wouldn't have bought them had he not literally asked for kimchi. I don't know any other 13-year-old son of mine that would have done that.
It's great for your gut health. As you get older, kimchi is really good for you. Now, when you're his age, I don't know how much it matters, but there was this show called Blue Zones on Netflix, and it was talking about people that live the longest. It was 2, 4, 7 years ago. It was a while ago, but there's different spots, and it talks about what's in their diet. It talks about how they live, how active are they, certain things. But kimchi is it's really good for your gut health.
Well, that's the one Blue Zone in my refrigerator then.
Is that kind of like what I did during the break? I went and got an oatmeal Little Debbie's cake, cream pie. Is that kind of what that is?
Pretty much the same ingredients in kimchi, yeah.
And Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to go there.
I tell you what, though, and I've tried to make it at home. It's just go to your local Oriental grocery store, and I guarantee they're going to have a homemade version of it that costs $3.99. It's much better than wasting your time making it yourself.
So what is it?
It is fermented cabbage and other vegetables mixed in with chili powder and however much spice you want. The fermented aspect of it is the real fun part. And that's where the gut health comes in, which I need because this acid reflux.
It's got good bacteria. Yeah, it's got the good bacteria.
Yeah. Here's Brent and Cersei on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. And I'm sure Brent is all about the gut health too. Brent, when's the last time you had kimchi watching an Arkansas football
Good
game?
bacteria. That's an A side.
I don't think I've ever had kimchi. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, have it at least once just to say you've had it.
No, I don't. I love Chinese food, but I don't. Kimchi doesn't sound like something for me.
Well,
I prefer egg roll.
Hey, it's okay. I think a lot of us may be used to drinking the things that get fermented. It's okay to eat some of the things that get fermented too.
Maybe for you, Phil, not for me.
Well, we live
Way
life a little bit different.
Brent, I'm with you.
To stand your ground state, Brent. Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
I've got Clay. Yesterday, I got two things. Yesterday, it was so refreshing to hear Coach Petrino in a press conference setting as the head coach because he just exudes. We're going to go to Tennessee and win. You want to know why? Because Bobby Petrino expects to win. He will hold our players and they will play hard for him. The last year and a half, our players had no accountability. Our coaching staff had no accountability on defense, and that's all I have to say on that. And I hope with this new NIL situation, I hope we're out in front of it and not waiting for other things to drop before we make decisions. I hope for once in our life, our athletic director will be at the forefront of something.
I do remember, Brent, when NIL first started, they hired, and I'm forgetting his name, and I shouldn't. I think it was Terry Prentice, as an associate or an assistant athletic director specifically for NIL. They were one of the first athletic departments to have somebody in that position. So, and I know that there's the whole idea that Hunter was resistant to NIL, and publicly he stated that, but there was a hiring that was made, and one Arkansas came out, and Arkansas Edge came out. It just, the difference between trying and it working are different. The 3 different versions of NIL at Arkansas didn't work the way they wanted it to. And the other aspect of this too, Matt and Clay, is that Arkansas is not the only school that has had to restart the NIL operation once or twice. So it's the whole industry. Some schools may have gotten it right.
Well, the
they're
definition,
the rare ones.
Yeah, the definition from the NCAA, and then some explanations from tax experts. What could be done here and there, because there was the move of Marvin Caston into Arkansas 1, and he would be somebody that I think that would be good at that. But then they shut that down and moved him back to the foundation. So there's been some like you say, it's been jerky. There's been starts and stops, and I think without question there was confusion over whether NIL was even going to exist once the House settlement, what we had come out of the courts, and all at once it's like everybody was afraid. Well, you can still have NIL, you can still have collectives, but it was going to be straight revenue share, except everyone forgot that there's not a judge anywhere that wants to say name, image, and likeness does not belong to an athlete.
Well, and it feels like there's still this SCORE Act, and I think there's competing proposals or bills in Congress right now for a nationwide, essentially NIL bill, or just the way college sports is supposed to operate.
Restructuring, yes.
Yeah, total restructuring, that's right. But until that happens, it feels right now that there could be
the wild, wild west.
But there's still a little bit of stability from this settlement until, and who knows when Congress actually finishes writing the bill, and which one they figure out they're going to try to push forward, and which one gets more support. But there is some more momentum there in Washington, D.C. So that's the thing, is like right now you think, well, maybe we've got this right with the front office structure. But what if this new bill, with the new restructuring of college sports, changes it again? It
changes it again. And as far as enforcement, there has never been anything that I have seen that there's teeth to enforcement. It's the wild, wild west. How aggressive do you want to be? I mean, you want to be the first one just to, all at once you're shut down. I don't mean death penalty, but in other words, your ability to pay players has changed. So it's you take it's a dance. You take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. I don't know what the answers are, but it sure looks like it's discombobulated to me.
877-377-6963 is the Lewis Automotive Hotline, good for calls or for texts. And the other aspect of Brent's call, which I think we were hitting on earlier in the show, the Petrino press conference, I think for some folks, hits like nicotine. That, it's like this addiction that you've forgotten about for years, and then you hear it again, and you're all of a sudden you're ready to go line up and get yourself a full pack again, right? But what if that doesn't taste quite the same as it did the last time that you actually tried one? That's what I wonder about with this next game moving forward. Everything feels, well, not everything. I think to a lot of folks, the change in messaging, the change in the focus on fundamentals and just having accountability. These are buzzwords that are getting thrown around right now a lot. Is that going to matter very much? Right now it feels like it might. By the time Petrino speaks again on a Monday press conference, we'll see whether or not, at least the first outing, if it matters all that much.
Yeah, what they say, talk is cheap.
That's right. It's the whole idea of pushing forward all of the things that may be a positive in August. Those positives in August don't really matter very much in October.
Yeah. I heard someone ran into one of my peeps, or whatever you want to say, friends.
Peeps is okay.
I love watching Coach break down game tape. I assume he's going to do. There is a coach's show, or they're not even coaches shows.
No, they
anymore.
still do. There's the radio show Razorback Football Live. I don't know if the TV show is still there.
I don't think so, but that would be. Remember the old days of watching Bobby draw things up on the screen on his TV show. You want to talk about pure cocaine? That's what it is to fans. It's like that is some sweet stuff to watch. The way he'd scroll it back and forth, the way he could run the telestrator on his TV show, and I mean that was unbelievable.
And here we are pushing nicotine and cocaine on our show here all of a sudden. How about that?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We could just go. We'll try a steak and a glass of wine next time because those things work maybe a little bit better. Here's JR on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. What's up, JR? How are you?
Hi, guys. Good. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Good. Just a hypothetical situation here. Do you think that there will ever be a time where these colleges or even the conferences get together and try to come to a point where they go in and decide that they're going to try to protect the best interest of the universities and try to set something up, where the players, have X amount of dollars per year, contractual agreements, et cetera. Do you think that'll ever happen, or do you think they're just going to wait on the politicians to decide how this goes?
To me, it's not the politicians, it's the judicial system. And as long as there's no guardrails for NIL, that's the key. They actually, what you're talking about, that's what the revenue share is. Everybody has the same $20 million. And that was set up by the House settlement, the federal judge. But the key part is that players still have the ability to negotiate their name, image, and likeness. So you got a check coming from the school, then you got a check coming from the deal that your agent works out with a private business. And
then the school is helping out with these private deals. That's the difference, and that's different. That's why you can't say. That's why it's not an NFL structure. It's like the Dallas Cowboys are not helping.
There's no parity.
Dak Prescott with any of his deals on the side. That's something for him and his agent to worry about. Now you got front office at Arkansas and other spots across the SEC and college sports, which are going out and finding these deals. That's the whole idea with Learfield, too. Like, Learfield isn't just the multimedia partner for Arkansas Athletics now. This is a reason why you can let go of Arkansas Edge and Blueprint Sports, which wasn't making enough money or any money for Arkansas. Learfield sells sponsorships. They're able to actually go out and find deals for athletes to help the athletic department out. That's much different from anything in pro sports. Thanks, JR. It's good to hear from you.
It's complicated, isn't it, Phil?
Well, yeah, and that's why it's not.
And it's ever changing.
It's not professional sports. It's some sort of a quasi professional, not even amateur now, because they're not game checks. It's not game checks, and it seems to me like that's not going to happen. Because I think from the proposals I'm reading from Congress, and yes, I know there's a shutdown, but eventually that ends. Who knows when, but it will. And then you get back to work on some of the things you're working on. That's all about NIL. It's not about direct payment to players for game checks. And to me, I think that's a thing you got to get to.
Phil, I was really puzzled. I watched a lot of football Saturday. That's when you don't have to worry about an Arkansas game. You can just go wild. Jump around. Relaxing setting. I don't have the ability to have four up at one time. I don't think I would like watching that kind of a situation, but I move around from game to game. But I honed in the Mississippi State Texas A&M game. I guess that was an evening game, right? College Station.
Yes.
And I think I've seen this clip 5 or 6 times where they were talking about Texas A&M's penalty problems, and Mike Elko, the head coach, said they were going to have the Coaches Cabo Fund. You got a penalty, you donated to the – surely that's not legal, where you basically are fining a college player.
I would hope he's joking. I really do.
But I heard it so many times, and no one ever disputed that there was anything legal about that, that at some point I was just like, well, maybe that's what they're doing.
I don't know if there's anything on the actual House settlement about fines. But in pro sports, they are they're definitely.
Oh, you definitely fine for penalties, right, Matt?
Well, it's a lot of different things. If you're late for a meeting, if you don't, clean up your tray at the lunch table. I mean, there's just a little thing about being a better human. So there's
Throw
a lot
cup on the floor in the locker room.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things. Yeah.
Well, where did that money go? The fines.
Well, with us, if you
With the
remember
NFL.
Bountygate, you remember
Yeah.
Coach Williams. So he was
Yes.
a coach at Jacksonville for a year, and the year he got there, we had a little thing with receivers that if you block somebody on the ground like a pancake block, they do it more for offensive linemen, but you're trying to get, and so everybody would put $100 in the pot, and then after each game, whoever had the best, but the most, then you got that money type of thing. It wasn't, but it was never anything more than a couple $100.
The Travelers, and this was a minor league team of guys that were not making a lot of money. A lot of times they would end up, the fine money would get collected, and it would go towards having a crazy
the Christmas party or something.
A crazy
Yeah.
pool party for the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
off day of the season.
Yeah.
Was what that was for. Wasn't going to Coach's Cabo Fund, that's for sure, too. We got a break here on halftime. Want to remind you about the Clay Maxi Auto Group with a promise to provide a level of service that maximizes your drive at every step in your car ownership experience. You'll find Clay Maxi Auto Group in Harrison, Mountain Home, Clinton, or Berryville, or online at claymaxiautogroup.com. From personalized car buying to competitive, transparent pricing, reliable and consistent repairs from factory-trained technicians, Clay Maxi Auto Group asks for the opportunity to maximize your drive today. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio joining halftime after this break.
Or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
We're talking with legendary Arkansas running back Felix Jones here on the Morning Rush. You could hoop a little bit back in the day, couldn't you?
Man, I tried, yeah. That was actually my first kind of love in sports. And my dad would play, and then Grover called us. So we had to go other places, and I took all the ability I had from each and every sport to take the football, and it seemed to work perfectly.
This is the Morning Rush, weekdays from 9 to 11.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
And no one's going to get Felix Jones.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Every Thursday, take a trip down memory lane at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's is bringing back the flavors you loved from Cuco's, the beloved restaurant that once called this place home. Join Joe's Grill and Cantina for Throwback Thursday and savor classic Cuco's dishes. It's the taste from the past with the vibrant atmosphere of Joe's. Don't miss out on the reunion every Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Come for the food, stay for the memories. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Tire care shouldn't come with extra costs or surprise fees. It should be simple, straightforward, and stress-free. So at Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee, included with every tire purchase with paid installation. You'll pay nothing for flat repairs, nada for flat replacements, zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles, and zero for other preventative maintenance. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the limited lifetime tire guarantee, only at Midas.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/JOY.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Bill King joining us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline at some point here. Christian, we got Bill? We got Bill. All right. We got Bill King on the Lewis Automotive Hotline here. Bill, what's up? Happy Tuesday.
Hey, guys.
Well, we're hoping that the message from Bobby Petrino gets Arkansas to play a little bit better on both sides of the ball, defensively specifically. It's just a little tough to believe that you can slow down an offense in Tennessee that right now is the highest scoring offense in the nation. What would make you believe that Arkansas can start playing better with Bobby Petrino as the head coach, or do you not believe it can happen?
Well, I told you guys last week, I think you're stuck with that defense. I don't think much changes there until whatever transition takes place during the non-playing portion. But I do think that Bob Petrino can restore that high-flying offense, what we've seen most of the year, maybe not the Notre Dame game. And I've told the Tennessee fans on my show, this can be a very dangerous, scary team coming to Neyland Stadium. And it'll be arguably the best quarterback you've seen and a lot of good playmakers, physical running backs. They better be ready to play.
Tennessee, better offense with Joey Aguilar. Then again, I'm reminded Nico Iamaleava was named the Davey O'Brien Quarterback of the Week for his performance against Penn State last week. So that kind of flies in the face of, what we saw from Nico last year against Arkansas, too.
Nico, halftime of the Oklahoma game, and Heupel shut the offense down, never recovered. And he hadn't played well. And he hadn't played well this year until the Penn State game. And it took a fired coach and an offensive coordinator, Jimmy Neuheisel, who had never called plays in his life, told Tuesday afternoon he's the play caller. Maybe that was the ignition switch Nico needed. Yes, he played quite well. The offense, this is their best offense since the Hendon Hooker 22 team with Hyatt and Tillman, star receivers, etc. And Chris Brazzell has developed into their big-time star receiver, a big 6'5" kid, transferred from Tulane a year ago. Played a year ago, really didn't show much, but has really exploded this year. And Aguilar has been a very, very ideal fit for them. Running backs have been good. Maybe not like Dylan Sampson, but O-line's been good. Defense isn't as good. Now, it's solid, but it's not as good as the one from a year ago. It's just not as stout, probably because the best corner in the league, Jermon McCoy, hadn't played all year because of a knee injury that happened in February, and he's not expected back anytime soon. They're a little subpar back there, and I do think Taylor Green can have a big day on them.
Bill, you know, Coach Nutt used to be the coach here at the Hogs, and he used to say if you'd have a bad loss or a loss that it was kind of, a 6 overtime loss, double overtime loss, it was like, hey, don't let that game beat us next week too. That's what happened to Penn State this last week. They had that tough loss against Oregon, and then they had to go a couple time zones and came out flat, really didn't have it going on. So I can kind of see that. What do you see, though, on the Texas-Florida game with Texas's loss? Are there more problems for Texas than we think? Is Texas a playoff contender?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I did think so until we started playing games. But their offensive line's a mess. Their running back situation is maybe not average. And they got a quarterback who I think is when he's playing well, he's decent. He's nothing special at all. And I hate to say that because I'm a Manning person, Manning family fan. And their defense is, I think, about as stout as we thought it would be. They also ran into a Florida team, guys, that has a lot of talent. Now, have we gotten privy to that talent this year? Most of the time, no. And the broken side of the ball for them has been the offense. Offensive line, this is going to sound like Texas. But they've got more talent on their offensive line. It had just been underachieving. And they played well. Their receiving core, guys, is one of the couple of best receiving cores in the league. And they just unleashed a 5-star freshman who they really hadn't been able to play yet due to injuries, Dallas Wilson, who was an absolute beast in that game. And, guys, Lagway, who has not played well all year and still looks a little gimpy, played by far his best game. So Texas is not what we thought, and they just got Florida's A game.
All right, so I heard you talking about this morning on your show, Bill. The idea of Texas just got Florida's A game. And it's difficult to get that A game from that roster, but it's a roster that's full of dudes, and Texas A&M's going to get them in College Station, but should A&M watch out too?
It needs to be a really relatively low-scoring, low 20 kind of game for Florida to win. A&M's defense is wicked. You mentioned it's at Aggieland, College Station. Florida does not travel worth a rip under Billy Napier, particularly when it's conference-ranked teams. His record is atrocious. Hard for me to see this Florida team, as well as they just played, travel that same game presentation we just got.
Bill, I'm jumping on maybe a little late. Miami Hurricanes national champs this year. I like their defense. I like their front seven. I like the quarterback that's got a lot of reps. Am I getting ahead of myself? Percentage you think Miami could actually win it all this year?
I thought the best defensive front heading into the year was Clemson. And they got 2 defensive linemen who were first-round draft picks. And Clemson's, most of their issues have been offensively. Sounds like a theme today. But their defense hasn't been as good as we thought. Now, to your Miami point, in Bain and Mesidor on the defensive line, that is by far, performance-wise, the best defensive front that I've seen. And this is Ohio State's best defense I've seen, too, in quite some time. But I'm just talking about defensive front. Miami is the best team in the country at the line of scrimmage. If you combine offense and defense, I don't think there's a number 2 that you can debate there. Maybe Ohio State. They've got Carson Beck playing like a first-round draft pick. They've got a freshman, this Tony kid, who is a South Floridian, who reclassified a year early, who was a 3-star guy, who looks like, other than Jeremiah Smith, one of the top couple receivers in the country. That's what you're getting out of them. Now, a lot of people in my audience have Hurricane Mario, distractions because they saw what happened in the Georgia Tech game a year ago. And could he do that again? I mean, maybe. I think he's learned his lesson, though. I agree with you. Now, I don't know if I'd pick them, but I think that they could be deep in the playoffs with a chance to win it all. I agree with your premise.
How about Alabama and Ty Simpson? That the kids looked great, especially the last couple of games. I mean, this looks like honestly, it looks like better than some of the quarterbacks that Saban might have had early in his career winning national titles there. You believing in Ty Simpson in Alabama?
I am. Ty Simpson's playing as well as any quarterback in the country. And his passing acumen, he's looking off his initial receivers, his calmness has been fantastic. I was a bit of a skeptic going into the year with him, and he has erased all of that, clearly. Their team's playing better. Their defense is playing stickier. They're playing better on the offensive line. Running back is, I would say, by their standards, average. They're not special at running back, but they have a receiving trio that is very dangerous. I think Alabama is a team that could penetrate deep. Now, I think the two best teams I've seen are Ohio State and Miami, maybe Oregon somewhere in there. And then I would take an Alabama and a Georgia, put them right next in the list there of best teams out there. We still are working on Ole Miss. Ole Miss looks very good. In 2 weeks, they got to go to Georgia. But that's probably my top five-ish right now.
Hey, if is Garrett Nussmeier hurt to the point where he's 70% out there? Because I still think LSU is as good as anybody, especially if he's healthy. But there seems to be a disconnect. There's something wrong there. Should LSU be worried about South Carolina coming to town this Saturday?
I don't think so. I think LSU's got too much talent. But your point on Nussmeier, he's not playing well. That's what we know. He's had nagging injuries. We know that. He's not been all that accurate from time to time. And they can't run the ball. Now, their defense is outstanding. Remember, it was just the opposite prior to this year. Now the defense, with all those additions, they're stopping people. They're stout. They're wicked. And the offense is struggling. Now, they have star receivers. And when they're provided the ball, they make star plays. But the biggest problem is that offensive line, Nussmeier not playing the way we expect, and they don't have a running game, regardless of that.
Bill, last one here for you. Where do you rank Red River Showdown amongst the college football rivalries, and how does that add to the SEC?
You got to start with the game. Michigan, Ohio State, Auburn, Alabama, those two stand out. And then you start counting, right? I would have that probably in the top five, historically. Maybe not the last 20 years, but historically, I think it would be top five. And there's a lot of talk that maybe Mateer's going to somehow get out on the field. Now, I don't know what to believe there yet. But I do find it interesting that Texas is a 2-point favorite. That is a very spooky, weird, odd line. I've seen nothing that would lead me to believe Texas is better than Oklahoma right now. I'd have them top five. The most underrated rivalry game to me, and that was not your question, I understand, is the Egg Bowl. I think that game should be a national attraction.
Well, and I wonder, I was going to ask also, too, about where you'd put Auburn and Georgia.
Or Florida, Georgia.
Florida. Well, I mean, Georgia and Auburn, sometimes they end up with some really great moments, too. And that's the thing, is you get some – I thought it added to all the rivalries in this league. And, maybe on the football field it'll be just as entertaining as it is to see all these fans hating on each other. Appreciate you, Bill.
Deep South's oldest rivalry.
Yep, that's what that was called. I forgot about it. Sometimes I got that one mixed up with old-fashioned hate, which I think is Georgia and Georgia Tech, right? It's like you forget about some of the Big Ten rivalries and all the trophies and Floyd of Rosedale, which is still my favorite one. But, yeah, old-fashioned hate, that one sticks a little bit hard as well. Remember about Walker Brothers in Fayetteville and in Rogers, Bowman's in Little Rock. True style, never accidental. It's intentional, refined, and unmistakable. And the moment you walk in to Walker Brothers in Fayetteville and Rogers or Bowman's in Little Rock, you'll notice it. Every jacket, shirt, and shoe is hand-selected for men who understand the power of a good impression. Big meetings, special occasions, you're going to arrive with quiet confidence and a respected presence. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. Walker Brothers and Bowman's Fine Men's Clothing, your life, your style, your store. And your time to get on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Stay with us for the home stretch.
Don't you worry, son. It will all be over soon.
This is halftime. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Family owned and operated since 1950, Crabtree RV Center is proud to have served the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for 75 amazing years. From a small dealership on Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith to 17 acres located at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, Arkansas, Crabtree RV Center is your one-stop shop for sales, service, and parts. Come celebrate 75 years with us and take advantage of spectacular savings all year long. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Football season. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is your #1 place to watch Arkansas and Monday Night Football. During Monday Night Football, $5 refillable beer cups for only $3 refills. Prizes for each score and at the end of every single quarter.
Can you believe that they've had the same great pizza since 1996? That's nearly 30 years.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. You'll get the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more.
Call Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747 or check them out online at pittmantrt.com. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Basketball tip times have come out, so the schedule is now complete. All the opponents, all the dates, all the locations, all the tip times. Well, except for the Missouri game at home on February 21st, either 3 or 3:30. That's the only one that's really a question. No 11 o'clock morning games at Bud Walton this year. There will be 1, 2, 3, 4 home games at 8 o'clock. The Kentucky game, the Saturday, January 31st Kentucky game, 5:30 in the afternoon. That's a nice sweet spot. You don't have to be up too late. It's not the early game. Right there in the middle, nice and sweet. So basketball is all out there in front of us, guys. And Cal's out there doing all sorts of interviews. He was on, Rome last week. There was another one I'm forgetting about. He was on Golic and Golic yesterday, podcast by the older Golic and the younger Golic. So all kind of coming out there. And I saw media days are coming up next week. Trevin Brazil and DJ Wagner will be the two players representing Arkansas.
That's a unique aspect of Trevin Brazil's growth that he would be really comfortable doing.
Never would have thought that, Clay.
No.
A couple years ago. You're right.
Well, I want to tell you, was it 2 years ago when he was still undecided, was he going to – he's in the portal, was he going to stay in the draft, all those things. And there's some guy named Matt Jones that does some radio on these afternoon shows, said he's the guy that can be a difference maker above the rim. You called that, Matt, and I wasn't so sure about it, but you were. Difference maker that can play above the rim, that there's just not many of those guys.
His growth has been a joy to watch because if you remember too, Clay, was it 2 years ago he kind of faked kicked a guy in the back when he was down, just like that's not a captain, that's not a leader. And so to see his growth, man, I'm proud of him. I really am.
Oh, he was a technical looking for a place to happen at some points. Just couldn't maintain his composure. But I can remember late last year, Cal said he is having fun. He's enjoying himself. I mean, he turned the corner. You realized, what he could be, what his role could be. And in the NCAA tournament, a couple of times when they didn't have somebody that could put the ball on the floor and go get a basket, go get yours, he did it. Beat a wing guy. And, I mean, it was in crunch time, 4 minutes to go. Some really big baskets in late in the year or in the tournament. And, and Phil, you talk about what Cal's doing, some of these podcasts or whatever. His narration of the prime time in the Palace the other night, where he kind of went through and talked about the players. I think you could watch that online. Is that where that was?
I saw it on YouTube. I know Whole Hog Sports had a.
That's what it was.
Yeah, they had a whole. It was like
18
Hogs
minutes. Plus had it, right? And then they made it free. They made it free, and he talked about specifics and terminology, and I mentioned earlier watching the Bobby Petrino show. This was what watching that. If you haven't seen it, I think it's still free at Hogs Plus. Go and watch that because you're going to get a lot of specifics about the players. You're going to be able to see, some of the drills, some of the contests that they have, and you'll get the flavor of what the talent on this team is, which I think is just immense. There's a reason why he played the schedule that he's playing. Coaches schedule to their team. Nolan did it. The schedule they played in 95 after winning the championship, they played a lot of big-time games because he knew his team could handle it. And you might lose some, but you're still going to be standing at the end. You would think this team will win some of those games, but they'll probably lose some too.
Doesn't it feel like the football team's got the basketball schedule in a sense? All these great out
Oh,
of
they
conference.
did. Yeah, but you didn't pick that. Yeah.
No, that's right. You chose that, years before.
Yeah,
by
it's
the
so
way,
far out.
Bet Saracen's got Arkansas plus 475 to make the Final Four, and Arkansas is saw here plus. I'll find it at some point soon. Here it is, plus 2,500 to win the national championship for basketball right now. I can find all the best odds, not just for college basketball, but the baseball playoffs as well, and NFL football, college football, and everything going on in the world of sports on Bet Saracen. Download from the App Store for your iPhone, Google Play for Android users, betsaracen.com for any web browser. And the last I looked on today's baseball games, I got the Mariners favored minus 135. First pitch coming up at 3 o'clock. Yankees favored minus 155 to extend the American League Division Series at home against the Toronto Blue Jays. It's all on the Bet Saracen app. All right, we'll come back in a moment. Wrap up halftime. Stay with us.
He beat me. Straight up. Pay him. Pay that man his money.
This is halftime.
Family owned and operated since 1950, Crabtree RV Center is proud to have served the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for 75 amazing years. From a small dealership on Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith to 17 acres located at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, Arkansas, Crabtree RV Center is your one-stop shop for sales, service, and parts. Come celebrate 75 years with us and take advantage of spectacular savings all year long. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Hey everyone, Josh Earnhardt here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. Do you like doing business with local companies? Did you know that AAA Business Systems is one of only a few truly local office technology providers in Northwest Arkansas? Ask your current technology provider where their corporate office is, and let's keep your money in Northwest Arkansas. Buy local, support local. Call us today at 479-442-4185, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
Do you hide your smile because of chipped, stained, or uneven teeth? Or feel like your smile doesn't match the way you feel inside? This is Dr. Charles Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. We offer custom veneers, full mouth rehabilitation, and even Botox to help you look and feel your best. We combine our expert care and artistic skill to create beautiful, natural-looking results, all while keeping you relaxed and comfortable. Right, Matt?
Time to love your smile again. Call 479-646-0706 or visit rivervalleysmiles.com to schedule your consultation today.
Do you feel that, Arkansas? The Lotto jackpot is now more than $1 million. Why should you care? Because this $1 million+ prize can only be won in Arkansas. There are 2 Lotto drawings every week, and the jackpot keeps growing until there's a winner. Join the fun and play Lotto today. A $2 ticket could change your life. Get yours in stores today. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Archery season is here, and Infinity Sports and Outdoors has all your archery needs and more. Infinity Sports has top compound bows and crossbows, all tuned and ready to shoot. Expert bow technicians with years of experience are on site and ready to get you dialed in to hunt. Need gear? Infinity has tree stands, saddles, plus blinds from Banks Outdoors. Find all your hunting needs now at Infinity Sports and Outdoors, 3700 Highway 71 North in Alma. Infinity Sports and Outdoors.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
You're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
You walked into the party like you were walking to a yacht. Your hat strategically dipped below one eye. Your scarf was half dot. You had one eye as you watched yourself go apart. And all the girls dreamed that they'd be your partner. They'd be your partner.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
All right, wrapping things up here. Clay Henry also with us. And Clay, we get you tomorrow as well, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, sounds good.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Also, Grant Hall will join us. I was going to play this earlier, guys. I don't know if this gets any more awkward than listening to Mike McDaniel discuss briefly his conversation with Dolphins owner Stephen Ross after a 1-4 start.
He was really frustrated at the, just like he's as I was, and we talked about the challenge ahead to get ready for the Chargers. That was kind of the extent of it.
This is the same man who just a couple of weeks ago was describing what you need to do to win a game.
To win games, you have to win the game, not lose the game, honestly. And that is how you lose the game. You're moving the ball down the field. You're 1st and 10, and then you find yourself at 2nd and 20. That was critical.
Does somebody throw Paul McCartney up there so that Mike McDaniel can remind him? Do you remember when you were in the Beatles?
Remember that one song that you did with the Beatles?
That was
great.
The only other more awkward moment was Deshaun Foster talking about, telling the reporters about what UCLA football was about.
I'm sure you guys don't know too much about UCLA, but our football program, but we're in LA. It's us and USC. We
Pyramid of success.
Oh gosh,
you gotta play the John L. Smith.
We're gonna try to be in Alabama. Oh, Clay, no.
You got to. I mean, it's the same kind of stuff.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't pull that one up, Clay. I kind of forgot.
I'm sorry.
About that one.
Well, but don't you think it's relevant? I mean, we got an interim coach.
Absolutely,
it's
would be.
Not going to make a mistake like that.
Bet you he won't. Yeah, so you're going to make the same mistake. What was it? Which officials were it that called Arkansas? Was it baseball? Called Arkansas, Arizona at the College World Series, right?
It was the umpire, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on announcing a replay.
For Arizona has asked for a replay review.
Look, we all have brain farts, right? I don't think that was a brain fart. That looked like a 6-year-old detailing what it was like to go in at a Catholic school to be going in to speak to, the nun who doles out all of the punishment. Just kind of stuttering at it, and wasn't too happy with it. I'm not sure Mike McDaniel's going to be around for another press conference, though I hope he will, because those are entertaining moments. Always entertaining moments. It's yes, Matt?
We get to do this again tomorrow. Looking forward to it.
Speaking of entertaining, of course. So it's all it's going to be. And the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast will have the highlights of halftime today, including our conversations with Alyssa Orange and Bill King, and most of our segments with Hall of Famer Clay Henry, too. And Ruskin and Zach, speaking of Hall of Famers, are coming up in just a few minutes, so stay tuned for them, and then we'll do this all over again tomorrow.
Debbie Harry's mid.
You have to leave that out there for a quick moment and go out on top. That's right. Do we get C-Unit's idea of Debbie Harry? Does he even know who that is? I think Blondie may have to be halftime homework this weekend.
You're going for that Chinese delicacy.
Kimchi.
There you go. I forgot what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Eating kimchi, listening to Blondie. That's the way I'm going to spend the rest of the day.
Not
Thanks,
bad.
Ravin. Thanks for joining us for halftime today. For all the guys, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.